I think the content management piece is really interesting because you've got a lot of vendors out there with some very, very smart technology that obviously will bring together all of the content into a central place for whether it's a bid team or a sales team to be able to access. So that can, in the main, be a really good thing because it's going to save time, it's going to drive consistency, it's going to drive just general sort of better collaboration. So on the surface, it's a really good thing, and you can certainly see from a vendor perspective how you've got a very powerful set of messages there. I think the health warning that has to come with it is these things are only as good as the way they're maintained ultimately. So the piece that it's not really in the interest of the vendors to be totally clear about how much time these things take to keep up to date, because if you're not keeping the repository up to date, then gradually people will drift away from it. Gradually they'll go back to their hard drives, they'll start reusing existing content from elsewhere, and that's where suddenly you lose control of it. And the minute people start drifting away from actually using the repository, you're losing the benefit that the repository should be bringing. So I think that's the health warning that comes attached, is great piece of technology, great idea. So the key thing is you've got to invest in somebody who is going to maintain the repository, keep it up to date, because if you haven't got somebody maintaining it, making sure that everybody can access the latest and accurate information, people will turn to their hard drive, they'll start reusing things from the previous bid or the previous proposal. And when they do that, that's the death of your repository, and that's what ensures you don't get the return on investment that actually the technology is capable of driving. I think there's a really key point, because the repository has to be a living, breathing sort of entity almost. So having somebody that can maintain it, who can ensure it's up to date and ensure the content is good, that's a really good thing. But actually getting everybody to be thinking in terms of what can go into the repository, having people who are reviewing content on a regular basis and saying, do you know what, that's the best answer we've had for whether it's health and safety or ISO or whatever it may be, but grabbing the best examples and publishing that. And that almost hooks into the collaboration element as well, that says if we have found a really great answer that we can reuse, we have to get it in the repository, but we also have to make sure that everybody knows it's there as well, so that you're spreading this best practice all the time. So you almost begin, it's one of these sort of virtuous circles, I guess, that gradually over time, the more you use it and the more people buy into it, the more that they get into that process of saying, yeah, that should definitely go into the repository, and it becomes suddenly a team thing, which of course sales aren't exactly renowned for. So breeding this best practice all the time gives all of the salespeople access to much, much better information. But you've got to have that corporate will driving it, from the sort of the sales director, the bid director, all these people working together to make the repository something that everybody can benefit from.